Hi there, I'm Unoriginic and welcome to Ramble Bak.
God damn it. Really? I can't even make it 8 seconds into a video without making a huge grammatical error. It's not Rumble Bak, it's Ramble Bak. That's the name of the show. You clicked on the thumbnail, you know it. Look at me. I don't know it. I can't even tell at this point. My brain's fried from spending an hour and a half making ice cream in the kitchen. This is what happens. It's a true story, by the way. Look out for that video coming soon. But sorry for the interruption, folks. Just had to set that straight. Had to let you all know that you are watching Ramble Bak. It's a clever play on words, and this idiot of a presenter here will tell you a little bit more about that in just a moment. Commencing with the scheduled program. Sorry for the interruption. I'm going to go away now. Enjoy the show.
This is a segment I've been wanting to start for a while, which is basically an opportunity for me to talk about games that I'm into, the gaming industry on the whole, and just basically voice my thoughts and have a bit of a running commentary on how the industry is going and what things I'm looking forward to, or what things I might have some criticisms over. I would have liked to have called the segment the Ramble Pack, but unfortunately there's just one of me, not a pack like a wolf pack, which would have been cool. Obviously you're getting the pun that it's reminiscent of a time of yore when there was the Rumble Pack for the Nintendo 64, so I'm calling it the Ramble Bak but hopefully I can send out some good vibes to you all, and maybe some bad vibes as well, depending on what the situation is, and then take away what you guys think about it as well in the comment section. So be sure to voice what you think or feel about the situations, or what my takes on it are, and also if there are things you want to see me cover, also chuck that down below as well. So without further ado, here is Ramble Bak. The first thing I want to cover here is a game that came out last month. It's called Adventure Time: Pirates of the Enchiridion. This is a game that I heard about probably 2017. I was really excited for it. Basically, it's an Adventure Time game. I love Adventure Time. I love Wind Waker, which is what it was based on, so it was guaranteed I was going to pick up this game. As we got closer and closer to the release date, I did start to see a couple of reviews that made me a little bit concerned. But I always take everything with a grain of salt. I kept my pre-order, I got the game, and everything everyone was saying about it was basically true. So essentially the load times for the game are really long, and the game crashes at random points for no apparent reason. Now this is something that isn't uncommon. If you look at Breath of the Wild, for instance, a lot of people who got pre-release versions or review copies of that game, they said that it was quite slow in some areas. It had a lot of dropped frame rates in some areas on the Switch. There was a day one patch for that game that basically fixed a lot of those issues, and then going forward they released more and more and more. Now I'm not comparing this game to Breath of the Wild. It doesn't have the same scope. There isn't as much hype over this game, so I thought with Adventure Time that there would really only be maybe 1 or 2 patches released and not everything would be fixed. So on day one there was a release. I did have to patch the game before I could play it, and unfortunately it didn't fix any of the issues. The first side quest I did, the game crashed. And I wasn't prepared to wait another 5 minutes to load it up again and have the same thing potentially happen again. It wasn't for a few days that I picked it up again and I played it, and again the game crashed. So frustrated, I flicked an email off to Climax Studios, who developed the game. I'm fully expecting that Climax Studios had shafted me, I'd blown my load on this game, and I was going to be left fully unsatisfied. But to my complete surprise, a day later, a guy, let's call him Doug, from Climax Studios, flicked me an email, and he basically told me that he was talking. Let me have a look at the email itself. What do you know? His name was Doug. I'll just bleep Doug out. So Doug sent me an email and he said this. Thanks for reaching out, and I'm glad you're a fan, although your enjoyment is being spoiled by this. We have a patch in the works to address a lot of the issues. I caught up with the dev team today to discuss your current issue and can advise you on working around this problem in the short term. For the sugar sacks, the game will automatically try and place them down when you drop them off. What we think is happening is that you're also trying to drop them by pressing the button at the same time, so my advice is to enable you to keep playing in the meantime is to not press the buttons while dropping the sugar sacks, and get the patch that should soon be out. Hopefully this should enable you to continue enjoying playing the game for now. Please do let us know if we can be of any more help. Many thanks, Doug. So great email from Doug. Really good that this was like a day after I sent the email, so they're obviously listening to fans, and obviously very specific to the issue I was having there. So that's good that they know that that bug is there and that there is a workaround for it. So obviously that'll be addressed in the patch. It's disappointing that that bug is at the very first side quest that you can really get in the game. You'd think that their testing would have been a bit more thorough and picked that up, but I think what happened here is that they had a release date that they really wanted to meet, and they went ahead and just released the game without having it ready to go. Regardless, it's good to know that we will be getting a complete game at some point in the future, as soon as that patch drops, whenever that comes along. But if you are experiencing bugs, if you're playing the game, let me know, because I'm always interested in that sort of thing. But also let the Climax Studios know, because they're fixing it, they're looking at making a patch so that everyone is getting the game that we should have got when we bought it, and any further feedback that you can give them that they might not be aware of obviously is going to go to the betterment of the gaming community that's looking forward to that game. Alright, the second topic I want to cover off in this video that I'm making, that you're watching, is the Nintendo Direct for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and also the 6-minute gameplay trailer for Red Dead Redemption. Did you guys see those? What did you think of that? Me, myself, I didn't watch them at all. And the reason for that is it's a decision I've made recently, is that I feel that there's too much given away in trailers nowadays. I feel like you need to, whoever's making these trailers, they feel the need to serve up everything on a platter to their customers so that people can be 100% sure that they're making a purchase that will be correct, and so that the studios are protecting themselves, that they're giving everything that you're going to get in the game, and it eliminates surprises and awe and that sense of discovery when you play a game. So if we roll back to 2017, Breath of the Wild, I looked up everything I could get on that game. I watched every treehouse. I tried not to, and it was a very slow process, and I slowly learned a lot about that game that I wish I had have saved for the first time I played it. But going forward, there are things that I've intentionally left off, that I know that I'm such a fan of that franchise that I'm just going to watch or get or buy. For example, Star Wars. I didn't learn anything about The Last Jedi. I watched the initial launch trailer, and that was it. I didn't watch any other trailer, and I found that movie to be really satisfying. I did the same thing with Solo. I watched one trailer, I said I'm going to watch that movie, and I didn't follow any of the hype, and I enjoyed that movie as well. So obviously Marvel movies, Star Wars movies, Disney movies in general, Zelda, Smash Bros, Assassin's Creed, those games I'm just going to buy because I've been such a fan of the series for so long, and the series has given me so much that I feel that it is an even balance, even if it's a sucky game, that I'm supporting that studio to put out more, but also that I am almost owing them my allegiance and giving them my money for a game. But I also want that surprise. So I didn't spend half an hour watching a Nintendo Direct completely about Smash Bros. I don't need to know every single fighter in the roster. I don't need to know every single level, or every single move, or every single soundtrack that they're going to feature. I'm happy to wait, play the game, and be surprised, and learn its mechanics for myself, and actually have some surprises there and some enjoyment from that. And the same goes for Red Dead Redemption. I have friends who have watched the 6-minute video. They're absolutely champing at the bit for the end of October to come around. Me, myself, I've watched one trailer. I know it's a Rockstar game, I know it's going to be good, potentially a little bit buggy at first, but it's worth the wait, and I'm happy to sit back and wait and be surprised, which is the exact same thing that happened with Red Dead Redemption when it came out, what was it, 2008, I think? So my thoughts, I guess, that I'm trying to get across here is, do you ingest every little bit of detail about a game or a movie or a franchise that's coming out that you think is interesting, or do you just get the base level stuff to kind of weigh in whether or not you're interested? Or, like with me with Adventure Time, do you look at it in the long run and go, I'm just going to get that, and just, you're at that level of hype the whole time? You don't need all of the stuff that the studios are giving to you, or do you find that that stuff helps you make those decisions and make those purchases? And does it pay off as well? Have you been disappointed by something that you've purchased recently because you've been following it and following the hype? Let me know down below, because I'd be interested to hear if anyone has the same mindset as me, or if I'm just a complete weirdo. Okay, and the last thing I want to cover off here is a YouTuber slash Twitcher, I believe. named Ninja. I heard this story in the news today. I thought it was interesting and a bit of a double standard, so I thought I'd talk about it. This is the controversy around him deciding that he only plays or he only streams or collaborates with male YouTubers or male players. And the reason that he has behind this is that he's got a wife at the moment. At the moment, that's bleak. He has a wife. They're happily been together for a year, and he made the decision that he was going to avoid playing with female players not because of the female players themselves, but because of the fact that something might happen where he can't control how that player reacts with him, and then other people who are watching this, he has a huge audience. Other people who are watching this may misconstrue that communication as him cheating on his wife. Effectively, that's the worst takeaway he has from it. And so to avoid that and to avoid his wife feeling what could happen from that, because the fallout is he has a lot of fans. People have in the past contacted his wife and said he's cheating on you with this or that happened, and the misconstrued a situation, and to avoid that he's taken the lesser of two evils in his point of view, and he now has basically just shunned anyone who's a female player that he comes across, and just won't play with them. So you can imagine the backlash from the social justice warriors and the feminists and people who just like to have this outrage culture when somebody has a decision like this, which is completely his decision to have, and he completely owns the fallout of that. So before I get into my take on this, I just want to give you a little story about something that happened to a friend of mine over Christmas. She was out at a bar, and her and some work colleagues were having some drinks, and she witnessed one of her friends from work, another lady, on the dance floor, and there was a guy there on the dance floor as well, and he was intoxicated. He came up to this girl and he ripped off her shirt, just ripped off her shirt in the middle of the bar. And then he went up to my friend and he came up behind her and groped her at the bar as well. And then her friend, who had her top ripped off by the stranger, was asked to leave the bar because she was not properly clothed. So told to go outside in public, not suitably clothed. Does that sound like an ideal situation or relevant to this? No, probably in both cases. But I'll tell you the truth. That was not a girl that it happened to, it was a guy who had his shirt ripped off by a female. And then it was me that got groped. Which, when you think about it, even my thoughts at the time were like, whatever, just some drunk girl at the bar, just ignore her and move on. But if it was the complete other way around, it would be totally unacceptable. And I think about this ninja situation the same way, that if this was a female Twitcher or a female YouTuber who said, look, I don't want to YouTube with guys anymore, people would say, well, yeah, not all guys are scummy, but there are those guys out there who are scummy, and of that group that they're not very courteous, and you don't really want to have them on your YouTube channel. If you had a fiance or a boyfriend or a husband, for instance, you wouldn't want him getting jealous that there are all these people saying inappropriate stuff over you. I'm thinking about the oh hell yeah guy from from Overwatch.
Oh hell yeah, is that a lady?
Morning.
It is.
Hell yeah. I love me some ladies. What kind of socks are you wearing right now?
White fluffy socks.
Hell yeah.
So it just interests me that there's this double standard there, that people could stand by and say that he's being a sexist, he's creating a boys club essentially because he doesn't want to collaborate with females while he's YouTubing, and he's cutting all these opportunities that these female YouTubers have and getting a sub boost from being on his channel or appearing in a game with him. But if we flipped it around and he was a female and was saying, I don't want to collaborate with males, I just don't want to invite those vibes into my channel, it's not part of who I am or what I am, I don't want to make my friends or family feel uncomfortable hearing the reaction that those people have to me. That's exactly what Ninja is doing. He's not saying that there is a cohort of females out there that intentionally are going to come on to him and threaten his girlfriend or his wife or whatever and say that he's flirting with me and he doesn't want to be with you, or he cheated on you with me because he said this in a game. He's just blocking out that entire opportunity to make his wife feel happy and to make him feel happy. Happy wife, happy life. So I can't understand why he's getting this backlash from people who suddenly say this is inappropriate, you can't do this. He's fully within his rights to do this. You're fully within your rights to be offended that he's done this. it doesn't change the fact that he's allowed to do that. Everyone says it's inequality because he's not giving opportunity to anyone else to rise to his level, but how did he get to his level in the first place? He just grinded away at it. He became the biggest YouTuber in gaming just by playing Fortnite and having his personality, and anyone could do that. You don't have to be a guy to do that. You could be a girl. You're probably more likely to get there if you're a girl, because I've seen those Twitch thoughts, so I know what goes on there. Anyway, that's all from me. I've been Unoriginic. If you have resonated with anything I've said here, or if you have any thoughts about this or anything you want to talk about, chuck it in the comments down below. If you're in that same field of thought as me, as with the games and that sort of thing, you like what I'm talking about here and you want to see more, please subscribe. There are other things I want to cover. Obviously, this has been my first go at this, so I don't know how this is going to go down, but I do want to do more, probably more focused singular episodes on one topic at a time, so if you do want to see that, please click subscribe. It really helps me out, and let me know what you'd like to hear about in the comments down below, if there is anything in particular that you want to get a second person's opinion on. That's all. Thanks for watching. See you later.